Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Monica here. Just wanted to jump in on a quick live for you. If you're watching, please post comments and questions. I'm here to answer anything that you may want to know about your health, feeling great in your body, enjoying yourself. So, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. And by the way, if you're watching the recording, you can always post comments and questions because I'm always reading. So, awesome. Great to have you here. You see, I'm holding a ball because I'm going to show you some ideas about how to treat your pelvis and pelvic floor on your own. Okay. First, I want to kind of introduce you to what are we even talking about? What is the pelvis? Well, the pelvis, let me stand up here because let's see if you can see me. I'm actually going to get on my bed, on my chair here. So the pelvis right here, I'm touching my hip bones right here. It is this whole area to the front and to the back that surrounds your hips, right? And in the back, you have your sits bones. So the entire area is your pelvis, right? Pelvis is a bone made of three bones. Actually, it is a compound, so to say, of three bones connected together, but not fused. So they can move pretty easily. And oftentimes, you know what happens? And if you've been getting my fascia release, if you've been coming to me or anybody else, you know that we often like to see how is your pelvis situated. Oftentimes, if you imagine the pelvis like a bowl, yeah, holding water, what can happen is that pelvis can kind of shift and twist. So, for example, I'm sort of standing twisted a little bit, right? So, it's not helping anything else in my body. So, that bowl, if you imagine it's holding water, if it's nice and steady, if it starts to be twisted, tilted, or torqued, it starts to spill water. So it can spill water to the sides, it can spill water to the front, it can spill water to the back. So ask yourself, you can actually put your hands, if you're sitting down, and let me orient my camera here. If you're sitting down, put your hands around your hips here. This is your pelvis, that lower belly, right? Take a breath and just connect with your hands, with the warmth of your hands. It actually feels good to do that. So just feeling. And then you can notice, you know, if you can stand up and notice, is my pelvis tilted? Is it kind of back or forward? Or is it sitting nice and steady? So just ask yourself. You don't have to know, and the answer may not be correct. It doesn't matter. Just ask yourself. You can close your eyes, take a deep breath. And imagine that bowl made of bones inside of your lower belly here around your hips. And ask yourself, is it sitting nice and steady and balanced, or is it spilling water? Okay, good. And like I said, doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's all about connecting with our body. So beautiful. So I get this question often. So why should we think about it? Why should we even care about the pelvis or pelvic floor? First of all, structurally, our pelvis is our foundation. It gives us the basic foundation, like the fundament, like the foundation of the house, right? If we build a kind of a crooked foundation in the house, it is not going to stand straight. It's going to be crooked, right? So oftentimes people come in and they talk about their neck pain, shoulder pain, knee pain. And we look at the pelvis. Where is it sitting? Is it straight? Is it balanced? If it's not, your whole body probably is torqued. And then we develop all this discomfort, pain, your neck pain, because your neck always has to be trying to orient over that faulty foundation. So it's a great idea to start by inquiring into what is happening with the pelvis. But today I want to specifically touch upon pelvic floor and why is it so important. So we talk a lot about it. The pelvic floor is your foundation, and these are all the muscles and the fascia that's actually inside of your pelvis, surrounding the organs inside of your pelvis, which we know we have the bladder in there, just right behind the pubic bone, right? So I'm going to stand up here. See if you can see, so you can touch and notice that firmness of the bone. And your bladder sitting behind it. You know that we're not going to get into that too much today, but a lot of people are suffering from issues with bladder and urgency, frequency, not able to hold it, always feeling full, frequent bladder infections, so-called, right? So burning, discomfort. So all of this is because our pelvic floor, which are all those muscles that are holding, muscles and fascia, that are holding and filling up the pelvis, are tight and restricted. Squeezing, your blood is being squeezed and pushed. Obviously for women, there is a lot of reproductive organs, that uterus, ovaries, and oftentimes they also getting squeezed. Maybe we had surgeries, right? Maybe we had hysterectomies. All of it creates thick tightness, scar tissue inside of the pelvic floor. And why is it important? Because, well, we may just feel tension and tightness inside of our pelvis and pelvic floor. We may have bladder infections. We may have pain during menstruation, for example, for women. And what happens is that then we run to the doctor and try to get medication. And we don't inquire enough about why is that happening? Do I have scar tissue? Do I have restrictions? Am I tight? Are my hips tight and squeezing? Right? So we got to be actually starting to inquire into what is the quality of the muscle and tissue. And oftentimes releasing that tightness of the fascia and muscles in the pelvis, in the pelvic floor, can take away your hip pain, your back pain, your bladder problems. It can take away your headaches, your knee pain, a lot of things, because it releases the pelvis and allows it finally to sit straight and balanced, right? Instead of being faulty and tweaked, it allows, see if I can do that on the camera. All right. It allows the pelvis to be balanced and hold everything in a nice alignment. So why headaches, for example, is because with the pressure down here, there's a pull down, and it can actually get into creating that tightness around your brain, around your cranial bones, and it creates headaches and migraines. And we wonder, why do I have those headaches all the time? I'm taking medication, it's not helping. Okay, so inquire, what is the quality of the tissue around your pelvis? Is it balanced? Is it sitting straight? Do I feel tension inside of my pelvic floor? Have I had surgeries? Do I have scar tissue? And a lot of women, for example, who come to me, they forget that they had C-sections because we don't think about it. We think about the baby coming, right? But C-sections are incredibly important to take into account because they create a lot of scar tissue around your pelvis. And suddenly, maybe a few years after you've had your baby, you start to develop tailbone pain. You cannot walk too far. Everything feels tight and painful. Your lower back starts hurting. But imagine that fascial system that is a connective web starts to pull and twist those sensitive bones and nerves in our lower back, for example, and we start to be in pain. We're not functional anymore. So inquire first, what is the quality of the tissue in my pelvis? Have I had surgeries? Can I reach out to a therapist who is actually specializing in pelvic floor work? Okay, and ask me questions. I can tell you in more details if you have any specific conditions or particular issues that are happening to you, ask me about it, because I could likely help you. So, or direct you to somebody that can. Awesome. Good deal. So you see, I have my best friend. It is my best friend. I don't know what it tells about my life. Probably nothing good, but here's my ball. And there's a few things we can do to start treating our pelvic floor from the outside. Because if you go to a pelvic floor specialist, they're actually going to be going inside and doing some releases. But we can start nice and easy, very simple, right? Just getting familiar. So I'm not going to be demonstrating laying down because I want to be showing you different things today. But remember, everything we do is 5 minutes at least, okay? So I'm going to show you a few different techniques that you can start employing if you feel like there may be a problem with your pelvis and pelvic floor, right? And if you have back pain, if you have bladder issues, if you have hip pain, if it's hard to sit on your tailbone because you feel a lot of restriction, if you have migraines, try it all out. You are not going to lose anything. You may lose 5 minutes of your day, but you will relax and you'll feel good. How about that? Awesome. So I'm just going to stand up here and I'll show you a few placements I've already been showing you. Hopefully you can see. I am going to take my chair away so I can stand in front of you. So right here, see, I kind of feel there's a firmness of the pubic bone right under my belly. The pubic bone is sort of this shape and it's right here, okay? So just right above your pubic bone, this is where we're gonna be using the ball. So what you're gonna do is actually lay face down on the floor, or you can do the bed or couch as well. Floor is always best if you can get on the floor safely. So remember, I've done a lot of videos on the ball and how to use it. So you can go back to those or reach out to me. I'll direct you to the right place. But we're using about 4 to 6 inch inflatable ball with a little vent here so we can get more air or less air into it. It's pretty firm. If you are very sensitive and have a lot of discomfort, you can take some air out of your ball with a bike pump, and you can also put a pillow over your ball, okay? Or be on the bed. So here's the spot that I would like you to start with. So you're just gonna lay over it, okay? And let me bring my chair back so I can look at you. And so basically, you can lay over that ball, face down, get a pillow for your face. And how do we do that? Do we rush? Do we just do it for 2 minutes and run around? Or maybe do we grab a phone and start checking our email? No. What I found that works best is actually be able to tune in into our body and take that 5 minutes of your day. Turn off your phone, turn off your TV, get rid of all the stuff that you need to do. For 5 minutes, you'll go back to it, forget that you had chores to do, and start working with your mind as much as you're working with your body. It's a big, big part of it, okay? So just gonna be laying over that ball, taking deep breaths. And if you have a ball handy, just go ahead, jump on and take a deep breath. Imagine yourself filling up with breath, and every breath out, you're just gonna soften into that pressure. Allowing everything to just release and soften. And feeling, you can ask yourself questions. What am I feeling? What am I feeling under that pressure? Is it tight? Is it tender? Is it taut? Is it burning? Is it just soft and nice and pliable? Right? Ask yourself questions without judgment and without expectation. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. It matters that you are feeling and noticing. Okay? So remember that. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. It matters that you are feeling and connecting. And you're employing your mind to start to really travel into your body and ask questions. We need to be able to use our mind as a tool, as a helper in therapy rather than a distraction. Okay? So this is a great practice. What I would love you to do today is if you have a ball, grab a ball. If you don't, just reach out to me. I can give you some more explanation of where to find it. And just put your ball above your pubic bone a little bit and just lay over it. And start asking questions. What am I feeling? And then as you're asking questions, another thing to do is start asking yourself, where am I feeling it in my body? Because you may be surprised. You may start feeling sensations in your back, in your neck, in your knees, deep inside of your pelvic floor. So don't just get stuck on one place. I'm treating my pelvis or pelvic floor. No, think of it as a connected system. The fascia is a web. So one thing pulls on another, right? And this will give you information of what to do next. Okay? Very good. So this is practice number 1 that I would love for you to try today. If you have a ball. If you don't have a ball, also you can lay on the pillow just to start to connect. The other thing that's kind of funny, and it's hard for me to demonstrate, but I'm going to grab my ball and I'm actually going to sit on it. It's a little tight, but you're not going to hurt yourself, okay? With a little ball, you're not going to hurt yourself. But I'm sitting on that ball and I imagine I'm a chicken on an egg, okay? So you're sitting on the ball like a chicken on the egg. And honestly, it is pretty tight. Like I probably would take some air out of that ball because I'm feeling it in my tailbone. And I'm starting to actually feel it travel up my spine a little bit, which is telling me, oh, a lot of things are really connected there. So you can move around a little bit, feel into it, take deep breaths. So you can definitely put the ball, get some air out of the ball, not to make it too tough if it's too much, right? And you're just kind of sitting on the ball, imagining you are chicken on the egg. And don't be shy, it's just another part of the body. And breathing, allowing your breath to guide you in this treatment. Breathing in, you can kind of elongate because you're sitting. So think of allowing your spine to grow higher. And exhaling, just letting your body to kind of soften and collapse into that ball. Okay. And you don't have to sit straight, but just to connect first. It's nice to kind of start with nice and aligned spine, growing up to the ceiling. And as you go in with this treatment, you can start maybe roll around a little bit on that ball to find a place where you feel like, oh yes, I'm getting into some tension, some interesting place that's clenched and tied up. And as you breathe out, just softening into it, like you just allowing your whole body to soften and go move down into the ball. So this way you just allowing the fascia that the ball is in touch with to start softening and releasing. And I know, that we can't really, with the little ball, we can't really touch or connect with all the pelvic floor muscles inside. But think of it so that the fascia is connected, right? The connective tissue is connected. And if we put pressure on one place, it actually starts to spread around and allow the release to happen away from that place where we are connecting. Okay? So don't worry about, oh, I'm not getting in there right away. But worry about connecting with your breath and feeling. Again, what am I feeling? What am I experiencing? Where do I feel the connection? Like I felt that kind of going into my lower back, traveling a little higher, traveling a little up. So don't question it. Don't think you're crazy. Just allow that to happen. All right? And again, so pick one. I mean, I would love for you to start with that pubic bone connection, and then you can sit on the ball. And again, we always do everything for 5 minutes. 5 minutes of focused attention where our mind is collaborating and connecting with what we're doing. So we're using our mind as our therapist. Okay? So these are those two simple practices. I don't want to give you too much. But I also want to encourage you to start kind of feeling into what would feel good. If you know the butterfly pose, see if I can actually demonstrate. It'll be kind of a little hard, but all right, I'm not set up very well here. But see, you put your knees out, and if you can only go this far, it's okay. You can put your pillows under your knees and then lay. What actually helps best is to lay back, okay, on your back, and then you have your knees to the side like a butterfly pose in yoga. And you can place your hands on your inner thighs and just breathing again. So you're opening that space between your adductors, which are inner thigh muscles, your pubis, your pubic bone, and just spreading, opening that space that we often really keep closed and shut tight. And it's not helping us to feel good. All right, so it's another practice. So try a butterfly as well, laying on your back and just allowing yourself, again, exactly the same method where you staying there for at least 5 minutes without distracting yourself with other stuff, without watching TV, but actually using your mind to connect with your body. Okay, and using the breath. As you breathe in, you kind of connect with that place. Imagine you travel into it. And as you breathe out, just allowing things to soften and open and become more fluid. You can use imagery. And I believe next time, let's try maybe going back to this, and I'm going to guide you through one of those exercises. But let me know how it went, okay? And so use your mind. I'm summarizing. Use your mind to be your therapist, to guide you instead of being distracted. Connect with your entire body as you are treating areas in your specific areas in your body, like your pelvic floor. Number 3, use breath and allow yourself to imagine or feel that softening as you breathing out. So those are just simple things. And if you want to go deeper, there's all sorts of fun things that you can do. Imagine color inside your body, coming into the tissues and brightening them up, expanding them. Or imagine maybe water that's starting to flow through your pelvis, right? Imagine space opening. So use your mind and have fun with it, play with it, and then write it down. What came up for me? So write down what images resonated with me the most. And number 2, write down where else did I feel it? Okay, as I was working with my pelvic floor. Where else were I feeling it? Where I'm feeling it maybe in my head or shoulders or back, whatever it is. Okay, so take notes and then you can come back to that and say, oh, that's interesting. Today I'm feeling something different, right? So you start to travel and play with your body, allowing it to be your guide instead of trying to get it feel better. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. There was quite a few different things today that I was touching upon, and want to encourage you again to really think about the quality of tissues inside your pelvic floor. Be honest with yourself. Do I feel tight and restricted? Do I feel like I have more space after I've been treating myself? Um, Remember that maybe you've had some surgeries, and for men, for example, prostate surgeries are very common, and so prostate surgeries also create a lot of restriction and scar tissue around the pelvis and pelvic floor, and they often can lead, that tension and tightness can lead to back pain or problems with the hips. So just be curious about what is the story, what is the history of my body, and how I can start to work with it. Great. And remember, so it's a really, the pelvis and the pelvic floor is really the fundamental area in our body that we all need treatment with. No matter what you think, you likely, I'm sure you do need treatment for your pelvis and pelvic floor. So don't hesitate, jump on the ball, get one. You can get one in a hardware store or online. Reach out to me, I can give you suggestions. And also reach out to me and tell me, what would you like to learn? What is your most burning question about your health and well-being that you would like to address? And reach out, tell me, how did that feel to sit on your ball like a chicken on the egg? Is it like a little bit weird? It's okay. Tell me how you felt about it and if it worked out for you. And if you need more directions and instructions, okay? I'm here for you. So awesome. Have a beautiful rest of the weekend. And we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.